just not accessible. Like you tell a motherfucker.
The devil don't
Yeah, they don't mix. They don't mix. And you see that plus his name, niggas ain't gonna check that. Like if I see this amongst like
y'all have that shit come in my house.
Right, same stick on their ass, huh?
You know, Apple got all the new releases. I know you're not really on Apple Music like that, but they'll show you all the new releases. I'll skip over that shit based on how it looks and what his name is. And then if I look, the only reason why I may have listened to this if I would have clicked on the album was because of the Deacon the Villain feature. Then in hip hop, I guess EP/album, whatever you want to call it. Sadistik, Salo Sessions II. This is my first time listening to Sadistik. So this is by far my first introduction. But however, I know Myke always talks about him. Is this project similar to his previous works, or is this different?
It's pretty on par.
Okay, first of all, with a name like Sadistik,
right?
You know, I'm thinking some deep dark, you know, off the wall, far to the left, push the boundaries of this. Even can you even call this shit hip hop? So when fucking Kerosene Dreams comes on and then it goes to Yo K, I'm like,
bruh.
Them 808s was getting.
I was like, yo.
I was like, Myke be listening to that?
No.
Myke be bumping in the world?
I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you the process I went through. Like, man, it took me forever to click on this album just based off the cover.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not ready for this shit.
Yeah.
I was like, did you look up what Salo was?
No, but it's just because all his covers are kind of dark looking. I noticed that. Well, most of them I saw, I don't know what his previous works
Phantom
are.
Limbs was not the one he did with No.
That was normal.
Okay, yeah, the one he did with No. Huh?
Well, the one for his last album was a little out there.
Yeah. And I'm like, it always turns me off. His album covers, just before I even listen to the music, his album covers always throw me off. So it was the same thing with this one. I was like, damn, I want to listen to this.
Fit the name a little bit.
Huh?
It's all,
but again, you see that the name, and what you hear is not what is not what I expected.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like to me, this sounded like almost like most of the people I personally listen to. So, and then I know you're so high on it. I'm like, I know me and Myke do share like certain things that we like about certain artists, but how highly you talk about them, I was just like, this is not what I expected at all.
Me neither.
I thought this was
weird.
I thought this was gonna be like a weird rapper type, like
He's a fucking weird rapper. That's why I'm confused.
But he's not really though.
Maybe y'all didn't read the lyrics for anything.
I understand that the lyrics made, but it's just the way he sounds. Aesthetically, I think.
But that's what makes him dope to me, though. It's like the shit he talks about is not what your standard rapper like that is talking
and you know
about.
what? I never really know what the fuck he's talking about, but you know, I do like the way that he rhymes and I like the beats that he rhymes over. So, but I never kind of really dive into the lyrics, and I don't listen to like go back and listen to a lot of his albums. Like I'll just listen to it just to see what it sounds like, but I don't. Like that's it. So I don't kind of go back and start to play it multiple times. But you know, as an artist though, I've always like dug his work, but I never like dived into the lyrics themselves. So I can see why you would kind of lean that way.
Yeah, and I get that you really like the lyric because if you heard him in the background, right, like background playing music, you wouldn't expect for him to be rapping about the shit he's rapping about. But even like the beats, because like typically beats like this you say is not for you, like with Freddie, right? Like all that, and I'm not saying that this is like super heavy trap, but it has a lot of 808s that are like that. So I don't know, I was just all the way thrown off. I'm like, Myke, this is Mike's type of artist? Like I was just, it threw me off because it wasn't what I expected at all. But yo, like going into the project, Like you, right? I'm looking at this cover. I'm looking at the name. I'm like, man, he about to put us on another Shabazz Palaces, motherfucking like some weird off the death grips. You know what I'm saying? But yo, that's why I kept asking every time. Are we reviewing this? Because I actually like this shit. You know what I'm saying?
Did you know about the EP that he did with No?
No,
okay.
at all.
I guess the project I should say that he did with No, because No doesn't really have the Shabazz Palaces type beats, so that's why I asked.
No, again, like I said, this is my first introduction.
Okay.
Because again, Myke talks about
introduction, first song,
for everything,
complete. Okay.
Yeah, because I hear Myke talk about, but again, like I know you like that left shit, and with a name like Sadistik, that's all I thought it was gonna be, and it didn't necessarily turn out to be that. Something I could definitely bump myself, so it just threw me off. It's not what I expected.
I was in the gym listening to this shit. This shit got me through my workout.
Yeah,
this shit literally got me through my workout.
This shit dope.
I'm happy that y'all like it. Because I prefaced it to him. I was like, man, they're not gonna like this.
Really?
No.
Why would you think that?
Because I feel like the way he raps can be off-putting to certain people. Like the shit that he says, and I know you were saying to me, you don't know what the fuck he's talking about. Half the time I don't either. But
okay, so I thought it was
it's
just
his it's his rap patterns that I really fucking like.
Like Echoes, for example. I thought
Echoes.
I thought the way he was rapping on them percussions, like how he kept catching that percussion on Echoes.
What he did, I think Versus too.
Yeah,
Versus was another
the joint
one.
with
Right?
Deacon
I know what
the way he
you're
was
talking
rapping on
The one where Deacon was singing his ass off.
But like,
I listened to that shit twice. I said, "Where Deacon rap?"
I did the same thing.
I'm like, where he rapping? I'm like, "Oh, that motherfucker singing."
It's like, go ahead, Deacon.
but like, yeah, songs like that is like why I like. I mean, because I've been a fan of him since he did Phantom Limbs with No, and that was basically because of No.
Yeah, I always wanted to listen to that. I just never got around to listening to it.
Maybe y'all should just, if there's any lesson that y'all should take from this shit, maybe it's that y'all should listen to me a little bit more.
No, I do, and I typically
Because I've been talking about this dude for fucking years.
Yeah, because I remember, like, anybody you put in your top 5, I normally try to go check out, like, Chesky. I don't know, but I don't know why. I told you, I always want to, but the album cover always throws me off. Like, what was the last one called?
Alters,
and it had like the tannish colors,
like this, yeah.
And it always throws me off. I be wondering, I go to listen to it, I'm like, damn.
But that was
I don't know if I'm ready for
one
it.
album.
I don't know if I'm ready for it, and I know, and I swear, I will never not do it anymore. Even if I have to push myself, I'm always gonna listen to your number 1 albums, cause it's like, damn, I've been kind of missing out.
Now I'm not gonna say that everything that he does is like this. With every album, he'll have some of those more high energy songs, and he'll have a lot of the more atmospheric and airy songs, like Crown or like Echoes. I don't think Echoes was a hard hitting song, but then he'll throw in a Yokai. Or a Heaven's Gate Away Team, where it's like really catchy, but it actually does hit. But yeah, I didn't think y'all were gonna like.
Man, that shit.
It
ended. I was like, damn, it's over.
Yeah.
And I was gonna say that is my one. That's not really a gripe, but that's my one kind of
a little bit more.
It's too short.
It's short
because
as hell.
I loved every single song on this shit, but my favorite jam was Yokai. Because it was like the way it goes from Kerosene Dreams, which is, it hits, but it's still kind of airy.
Yeah.
And then the second Yokai comes on, it's like, bam, bam, okay, I see Yokai everywhere I go. I'm like, oh, this is so fucking dope.
Was
and
that like a Japanese folklore or something like that?
Yeah, so Yokai, and that's what's so dope about it.
And hold on 1 second.
How you gonna ask me a question?
Also in that song too, he referenced a video game that I'm a fan of.
What's the video game?
Aminusha. He said that shit in there. I was like, holy shit, what the fuck you know about that? Yeah. I'm like, what the fuck you know about that shit? So yeah.
I didn't know anything about that.
Yeah.
But
I caught that line.
That's cool. I didn't. Yeah, because I saw like there's all kinds of. Like I said, he always references shit, and half the time I don't know what he's talking about. But that song, I knew what yokai was. They're like spirits, Japanese spirits or demons.
Okay.
And that's why you get like the Japanese tinge in the beat, which is fucking dope. And then when you read through the lyrics, he references this movie Audition, which is this Japanese horror movie. And I forget, I think it's a Sami. He's like, assuming that I'm a Sami, audition, itty, let me put the needles on your skin, kitty. In the movie, like, that's how she gets people. Wow. She injects them with a needle. But this is like an old horror movie that and then he references, remember I told y'all about the movie Irreversible?
Yeah.
Like the line right after that, he says something about irreversible, fire extinguisher to the face. Like, that's the way that movie starts, is with this dude getting his face bashed in with a fire extinguisher. So it's like, he'll reference these things that your typical hip hop fan would really not catch. But since I fucking live horror movies, I'm like, man. And that's what got me onto him way back when, is he was referencing like Kerouac and Bukowski and shit, like authors that your average
he referenced
rap
a book,
fan.
didn't he, in on Kerosene Dreams? What's that 1984.
1984, yeah.
That's a novel.
Yeah. You ever read that one? You didn't read that in school? People didn't make you read that?
No, they didn't.
Yeah, he says, call me
seeing
paranoid, but I see 1984. You know, he references that your average rapper really wouldn't talk about.
Because he sees the world in the same way that novel he saw it, the world in 1984. Yeah, it was, I mean, I know about I never read the entire book, but I know like something about like, oh shit.
And on his, I can't remember if it was the last album or the album before, he has a song, 1984, where he's talking about these things. And like Heaven's Gate Away Team, which is my second favorite song. I don't know if y'all remember the Heaven's Gate. The people that thought that there was a UFO hiding behind a comet. And it was like 40 people, they all committed suicide all at the same time. They like, he starts off the song with phenobarbital mixed with applesauce and vodka. So like they took pills, they mixed them with applesauce.
Was this in the 90s?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
I was say it sounds.
My mom used to be up on all that type of stuff. We used to sit up there and watch all of that. She watched what was that show she used to watch all the time?
Unsolved Mysteries.
Yeah, stuff like that. My mom was big into that stuff. So
I used to watch that stuff.
Yeah.
I just don't remember that though.
That was
big. Yeah. I want to say they made a movie about it.
They did.
Yeah, they made a movie about
it. It was like the whole Jim Jones thing. Everybody knows about that.
I
with
remember,
the Kool-Aid.
I know about that.
But this one kind of went like a little bit under the radar. But the whole thing was people showed up at the compound and it was like 40 people all dressed the exact same way and they all had plastic wrapped around their heads. So when they first got there, they're like, who killed all these people?
Right.
But then as the layers peel away, you realize that they killed themselves. So that's when you listen to that song, the first verse is about that. And then you get to the second verse where it's almost like the people are looking to not so much place their blame about like their fucked up lives, but like they're looking to religion to fix the shit. So I say
that's why he said something like about they look at God, but it's
fiction, crucifixion,
something in my addiction, something the way he rhymed it. I was like, okay,
I caught that.
Yeah, that shit was dope. That shit was dope.
Nice.
That shit was dope.
Yeah, he's very, like I said, I think that's one of the things that will make people really attracted to him.
Yeah.
But that's also one of the things that I think kind of scare people away because they're like, what the fuck is he talking about? Like, what the fuck?
That. That's not what scare people away. What scare people away are these fucking album covers.
Right.
No, for real. Look, I just started looking at the rest of his projects.
I'm telling you, bro.
You know what I'm saying? And these like Ultraviolet, bro. Like, come on.
Ultraviolet's just his face.
Yeah, that was not that bad.
But it looks like the Joker. You know what I'm saying? And we know the last Joker what he about. The Ultras look crazy as fuck.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay, look.
And then his name is Sadistik.
Exactly. And his name is Sadistik. Like that's just not accessible. Like you tell a motherfucker.
And the devil don't
They don't mix. They don't mix. And you see that plus his name, niggas ain't gonna check that. Like if I see this amongst like
y'all have that shit come in my house.
Right. Stage stick on that ass.
Make you want to go back and
I'll definitely check them out.
Yeah.
And that's why I had to start by asking, is this just like a one-off or is this what he typically does?
I was wondering the same
No, he does these. Okay, so there's 2 Salo sessions, and they're based off of a movie called Salo, which I would not recommend anybody here watch, but I love the movie, and it's basically where these Italian fascists, they kidnap these children and then they take them to this place and it's like a whole movie of them just torturing them. That's why when you look at the cover, it's these tied up women.
Yeah.
Because that looks like some shit that would have happened in the movie. And you know Marquis de Sade. You've heard that name before. Who's like this old perverted, really? So that's where the term sadist comes from. Like, and from like sadomasochist, that Marquis de Sade is the one who inspired that movie because he wrote a story that was Salo, and then somebody made a movie out of it. So he gets his name from that type of shit. So it all makes sense. But I really feel like if you sit down and you really get into his lyrics, I think you'll see why he uses this imagery.
Like, I figured that. I figured it's more. Yeah, I figured
it had to be. It's all connected.
Yeah.
Connected.
But it's still accessible to the person, like.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, you can still listen to it sonically and enjoy
aesthetically, like Myke was saying.
The way he rhymes, the flow, even his voice, sounds good, and the beats, depending on what type of beats you like, or kind of like, just reminiscent of No and airy and kind of, kind of slow and smooth and all kind of shit like that. But then, like you said, like,
if you really dive into the lyrics.
it could probably add even more to it. I just like the sound, you know. But
8 rhymes.
yeah, you know, and that's
shocked.
about as far as I ever went with it.
What'd y'all think of the Way Down with Triz?
I thought that was a cool joint. I wasn't familiar with Triz. I can't remember where is he from somewhere else.
He's got some music out there. He's actually pretty dope.
That song is too short. Like it was just like.
And that's another one where I feel like I didn't get it until I read the lyrics.
Oh,
because it was like when you just hear it,
That's
it
what
just sounds
I
like
did too.
Sadistik is rapping, and then it sounds like Triz is kind of just raps out of nowhere and he's rapping about something completely different.
Yep, and then
but
it
if you
goes
listen
off.
to it, it's like Sadistik is like his part is like this build up to getting angry, like he's anxious and he's upset. But then when you get to Triz's part, it's like you're at that point where you're just like, fuck it, let's fight.
Yeah.
And I never got that until I actually sat down and really read the lyrics.
That's what I should have did.
And I feel like that's the way it goes with a lot of his songs. You can listen to them and they're like, oh yeah, this is cool.
Sounds cool.
But it's like once I sit down and I really
kinda
get to the lyrics,
missing
I'm
out.
like,
It's a lot of layers.
Depending
It's a
on-
lot of layering.
there's a lot
Yeah,
of
I
lyrics
figured
in
as
this
much
guy.
so.
Yeah.
Like I said, I listened to it while I was working out, and I wanted to go back and kind of like really listen to the lyrics because I know it had to tie into like album covers and the album titles.
yeah.
I knew it had to, but like you said, aesthetically, it doesn't sound like what it looks like.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's funny because I think it does. I think it.
I think you
totally
think it does because you kind of know the
really-
lyrics and then you know you're familiar with them.
But
I
I
think
think
the
he-
music and the cover match. It's
Because
very
it's
hell.
dark.
Yeah.
The music
It's dark,
is
but not
as
like
fuck.
that.
The Kerosene Dreams.
Like all of the songs
And
are
Crown.
dark.
Crown is so dark. That vocal sample.
Most of his stuff has that dark sound to it.
I think y'all just automatically
I don't know.
assume it has to be like death grips in order for it to be dark music.
No.
This is dark.
And I'm not saying that it's not dark, but it wasn't what you would expect for somebody brand new to Sadistik. By the time it got to that second track, I'm like, this is what we're
That shit
doing?
turned up, man. That shit
it
turned up
did.
quick.
It did, and I'm
Yeah.
like, Myke don't be driving around. I'm like, nah.
It's not like
I was thinking the same.
I'm like, nah. He don't drive around this.
I was
this,
thinking
man.
the
Look, how
same
different is this
shit.
from like a JPEG Mafia?
It's
If
not.
you really think about
it's not. It's not.
Right.
So I get you. But JPEG Mafia, it doesn't. Go ahead.
But the name Sadistik.
Okay, take away the name. I'm saying when you put it on.
No. When you
How different is this from like a JPEG Mafia? And if you really want to get
Right.
deep, how different is this really from like a Run the Jewels
But-
type hype?
think about what you're saying.
I'm not
though.
talking lyrically.
yeah.
Think about what you're saying though. You said how's it different from JPEG Mafia? We fuck with JPEG Mafia too.
Right.
Remember?
And
So,
I'm
yeah.
like the biggest fan of him on the show.
Right.
So I'm like, why would you be surprised that I would like this?
That's what I'm saying. Why would you be surprised that we like this if we like JPEG?
I mean, like, yeah, I guess
You
you're
see
right.
what I'm saying?
Listening to all of the type of music that we listen to has opened me up to actually accept somebody like him. I can't say that prior to doing this with you guys that I would have been as open and be like, oh yeah, it's as dope as what I think it is now.
Yeah, sure.
Right. So is he intentionally going after a certain demographic with this?
Who's it? That's the thing. It's like, who's his
I don't think
demographic?
so.
Yeah.
I think he just makes music.
He just makes music how he
Yeah.
feels.
Yeah.
This is just his style. This is just what he does. You know, this is his lane.
When I first got put onto him, Chesky sent me his album. Was like, I think you'll fuck with this. And I saw the cover and I was like, oh yeah, this is probably gonna be cool. It was Flowers for My Father. And I checked it out and it was dope, but it's not like this. It's like he's been getting darker and darker and darker and darker with every album. And now
Has
it's
he been
just.
getting better as far as like MC wise?
I think so.
Really? Okay.
He used to do a lot of the double time shit,
Okay.
which he was
I can
really
see
good at that
Okay,
too.
I can hear that. I can hear
But
that.
the thing is now you can't say, oh, that's a Sadistik flow. Because every song, he's using like 5 flows.
Okay.
He'll rap fast and then he'll change it and rap choppy and then he'll go, it's like, it's nuts the way he
Percy.
rhymes.
He changed it
Like
up.
Percy,
Percy
yeah.
and Crown. I was just like,
Yeah.
damn.
He does that all
Yeah.
the time and I think it's fucking incredible. And like I said, I just really fuck with the content. Perseus, how did y'all feel about Slug Christ?
I don't know.
That
I
was
thought
the
it was
second
more
one?
than one
Was that
person.
the second
I just want to make sure.
I get you.
Yeah.
Wait, it's one
Yeah.
person? Because I heard.
No, it was.
It's one guy.
Yeah.
He
So
changed
he
his
changed his
voice.
voice.
Oh, that's what
He
happened.
changed his voice.
Oh.
I figured that's what he did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not
kinda-
sold on him. I don't know
No,
him
he kind
like
of messed the
that.
song. The song was still dope, but he just kind of like he messed it up for me. I would have been cool if it was just Sadistik.
For me, it'd have been better if he got a more energetic rapper to
Yeah.
follow up. Slug Christ was a little bit too laid back for
Yeah,
me.
for that
But
beat too.
for that
didn't it?
beat,
Yeah,
But
yeah.
he's not whack or anything. It was just he didn't fit the song for me at all.
And I think that's what it was. He just messed up the flow of the song. For me.
Yeah,
it
me
wasn't.
too.
It wasn't the fact that he was whack. It was just like
He
when
didn't
he
fit the
came
jam.
on, I was just like, man, like give me another Sadistik verse, or like you said, somebody else.
I think the sequencing on here was really good too. The way he put the songs together, you know, starting out with
flowed,
Kerosene
man.
Dreams, then Yokai, and then
slow it down a little bit with
slow it down a little bit
Yeah.
more. Then hit you with the soulful Deacon the Villain shit. That's my shit. So yeah, the sequencing was great because you didn't, you know, he kept your mood like moving back and forth. You know, as you listen to it.
It wasn't like, well, of course,
Even though it was only 20
because it was an EP.
minutes.
Yeah, it wasn't like, oh, why you put this song right here? I think he had it wasn't no room for error when it came to.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point. Yep.
Favorite tracks for me, I'm gonna have to go Kerosene Dreams, Yokai.
That's it.
Nah,
Go ahead,
and
kid.
Echo.
Nah, what, what man?
And
What
Echoes.
3?
Kerosene Dreams, Yokai, and Echoes.
Yokai and Echoes.
Yokai and Echoes. That's shit.
Kerosene Dreams, Yokai, Heaven's Gate Away Team.
Man, Sadistik, if you watching, I ain't never fuck with you because of that name, bro. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. Mike kept saying, "Oh yeah, Sadistik." I'm like, that's that Satan shit. but nah, I'm pleasantly surprised. I didn't anticipate your production to be the way it was. Your rhyme style. Your content isn't necessarily what I would always listen to, but you have enough appeal to me to definitely go check out, you know, your previous work. So I'm interested.
Sadistik, if you're watching, yeah, man, I definitely enjoyed this. You know, I've listened to your previous work. I didn't always go. Well, I just don't dive into the lyrics. It sounds like listening to Myke that I'm missing out on something. But for me, it was always sonically and the way you rap. That I've enjoyed the most. But yeah, I enjoyed this, and you know, just keep doing what you're doing, man. You know, you got a good thing going on.
Like I said, been a fan of you since Phantom Limbs. I think since listening to you from there, you have a good ear. You have a great ear for beats. I think the way you rhyme over your beats and it fits your style perfectly. So I definitely commend you for that. Good job with this EP, man. You know, I ain't gonna say I kind of knew what to expect. I knew you was gonna be rhyming your ass off. I was just kind of interested in where you was gonna go. You know, production wise, and type of beats you was gonna rhyme over on this EP. But yeah, definitely looking forward to seeing what you're gonna do next.
Sadistik.
I was
wrong, man. I'm fucking blown away by the fact that these guys actually like your shit. Because you already know I've been a fan for a very, very long time. And this is just another notch in the belt as far as putting out super quality projects. And what I love is the fact that you never repeat yourself. You're always doing new shit, trying out new shit, doing new things. And even though this isn't a drastically new sound for you, after listening to your past projects, I can pick up where you're doing different flows and you're trying out different patterns. And it's dope, man. This is a great EP, definitely one of the best things I've heard this year. And I'm really looking forward to the album that you're dropping next year. So keep it going.